One thing I always do after I stop recording a podcast interview is hit record. Not because I have all the answers, but because I don't want to lose what just happened. Today, I had the privilege of talking with Sherry Shaban. And while we talked about food, we really weren't talking about food at all. We were talking about patterns. One thing she said has been echoing in my mind ever since we wrapped. The solution begins with awareness. That sounds so simple. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized how often we skip that step. We don't want awareness. We want a solution. We want to know what diet to follow, what habit to start, and what book to read, what strategy to use. But what if lasting change doesn't begin with another strategy? What if it begins by simply noticing what's happening? And here's what challenged me personally. Sherry talked about how our behaviors are often trying to protect us. That made me stop and think a moment. Because I spend a lot of time talking about delaying the binge, creating the pause, interrupting the pattern. But today reminded me that before we interrupt the pattern, we first have to understand it. Maybe that late night trip to the pantry, or the endless scrolling, or saying yes when you wanted to say no isn't because you're weak. Maybe it's because somewhere along the way, your brain learned that behavior was helping you survive. That doesn't mean it still serves you, but it does mean it deserves curiosity before criticism. There was another part of our conversation that really stayed with me. Sherry said this year she's practicing stillness, not because she's doing less, but because she's finally stopping believing she has to prove her worth by constantly doing more. I'll admit, that one hit home. I think a lot of us quietly carry that belief that if we just work a little harder, produce a little more, achieve one more thing, then maybe we'll finally feel like enough. But what if enough was never something we had to earn? So here's the question I'm leaving with you today. What pattern in your life deserves curiosity instead of criticism? Not to excuse it or ignore it, but simply to understand it. Because awareness doesn't magically fix everything, but it does give us something incredibly valuable, the pause. And that's where change begins. I'll see you next week.